Welcome. Thanks for joining us. Today, you'll learn about how Logitech is transforming the workplace experience. You'll hear from members of our team with some exciting launch announcements. Technology changes fast, and it's only going to continue to accelerate, which means more AI, more automation, more data, and on top of that, shifting IT priorities. We heard you on that one. The office experience is changing rapidly for all of us. So, what does this mean for you? Over the years, we have pioneered solutions for a complete workplace, from individual desks to conference rooms. From our iconic mice and keyboards to market-leading webcams and conference cams, we provide complete solutions for all people in all spaces. We start with a deep understanding of how humans interact with computing devices. We draw from our rich consumer heritage to design workplace solutions that remove friction and enable better collaboration. On top of that, we design for sustainability in everything we do. So that's what you'll see today. An obsession with making technology seamless for end users and for you, so you can offer experiences that meet everyone's needs. You'll hear from Alan with a big announcement around our newest video bar, Philippe and Johanna with details on our new services offering, and Henry will walk you through how we are innovating with partners and software. So let's get started. Over to you, Henry.
Thanks, Prakash. At Logitech, we're well known for building great, long-lasting hardware. But we believe software is the key to unlocking our device's full potential. In fact, the majority of our engineers who work on enterprise solutions are actually software engineers. Through software, we believe we can make our devices smarter, unlock better integrations with our partners, and be more sustainable. Let's first talk about making devices smarter. Rally Bar was our first CollabOS device, and since then, we've dramatically expanded our CollabOS device portfolio and released 12 major CollabOS software updates. These ongoing software updates allow us to continuously optimize our devices to make the meeting experience more immersive and more productive. With Right Side 2, we evolved the remote viewer experience from traditional group framing to individual participant framing. Using advanced machine learning algorithms, we are able to provide an at-home webcam-like experience for meeting rooms. To help ensure we only frame meeting room participants, we extended our framing technology with a feature we call Camera Zone. This feature, which is particularly handy in rooms with glass walls, allows admins to establish an area of focus for the camera that's limited to the room itself. You no longer need to frost your glass walls. But our vision for the future goes beyond a single camera. When the in-room conversation moves to brainstorming on a whiteboard, Logitech Scribe can broadcast that whiteboard content into video meetings with outstanding clarity. In larger, more traditionally shaped spaces, we believe multiple cameras are needed to capture multiple viewing angles to provide that webcam-like experience. This is why we pioneered the idea of combining a front of room with a center of table camera to provide a fundamentally better video experience. Logitech's site has already raised the bar, but today I'm thrilled to announce that we're raising the bar once again. Our highly anticipated feature, Smart Switching, which intelligently switches camera views depending on where participants are looking, is now available as a public beta. While it's important for remote participants to see everyone clearly, it's even more important for them to hear everything being said. This is why we use an advanced 6-microphone array in the Rally Bar family of products. These beamforming mics capture speakers from as far as 7 meters away. But we didn't stop there. For the past year, our audio team have been heads down rewriting many of the audio algorithms from the ground up. Using the latest machine learning technology, we've produced larger, more complex models that greatly outperform prior ones. Now, reverb from hard surfaces and other unwanted distracting sounds are significantly reduced while preserving the speaker's natural voice. We call this improvement Right Sound 2. It's part of the CollabOS 1.12 software update and is available now. Let's talk about our partners. To fully unlock what our solutions and AI can do, we integrate deeply with partner platforms to enable even richer and smarter experiences. Our Microsoft Teams certified devices now support speaker recognition and attribution, which unleashes the power of Copilot in the meeting rooms to deliver meeting summaries, insights, and action items. We've integrated our RightSight 2 technology to enable IntelliFrame, an AI-driven meeting experience designed to improve hybrid meetings. We've extended this next-gen video experience to larger spaces with Sight, making Rally Bar with Sight the first and only front and center Teams certified solution. But today, I'm excited to share that later this year, we're bringing multi-stream support for Teams Room on Windows with Rally Bar and Rally Bar Mini. This will give remote in-room participants their own tiles and later participant labeling. Together with Zoom, we've delivered smart and immersive experiences that enable hybrid teams to work from anywhere. With Zoom AI Companion, our solutions boost productivity and team collaboration. We use our RightSight 2 technology to integrate with Zoom's Smart Gallery, giving in-room participants their own tiles, just like those dialing in from home. For larger spaces, we've certified Sight, Zoom's first and only certified panoramic camera. And we've certified Rally Camera to enable Intelligent Director that brings the multi-camera experience to even more room types. And we're also working with Zoom to bring the Intelligent Director experience to Zoom Room appliances with Sight. And we'll have a lot more to share about that soon. Lastly, but not least, we're excited about our joint innovation roadmap with Google, particularly Workspace with Gemini at the center of it. The recent introduction of Google Meet for Android on Rally Bar and Rally Bar Mini makes us Google's first and only hardware partner providing the flexibility of choice to deploy either Android-based or Chrome OS. Later this year, we'll share how we further elevate our user experience by integrating Gemini across our portfolio of solutions like Sight with dynamic tiles and dynamic layouts, or Gemini's live translation supported by Rally Bar family. Lastly, let's talk about sustainability. As market leaders, it's our responsibility to consider all stakeholders, especially the environment. Earlier this year, we announced our transition to using Next Life plastic materials in our CollabOS device portfolio. But there's so much more we can do with software. Through regular software updates that add new capabilities, we extend the life of a device so you can keep it longer. But we can do more. We've been working on something big. Today, most CollabOS devices are running on Android 10. But new versions of Android are released periodically that enhance the security and supportability of the platform. So I'm proud to share that we will be upgrading all CollabOS devices to Android 12. This update will provide an additional 2 years of security patches and compatibility support, which helps keep devices in use that much longer. So, as you can see, software is at the core of what we do and what we believe. Through continued software updates, we can make our solutions smarter with new AI capabilities, deliver deeper partner integrations, and make our solutions more sustainable by extending their life cycle. Now, to share another big announcement, I'd like to introduce you to Alan.
Thanks, Henry. 8 years ago, a small group of us came together to reimagine what a modern video conferencing solution could be. We saw a world of complexity that needed to be simplified. We wanted to make video conferencing more flexible, to give you more choices. And we wanted to make something that would extend video into all spaces, not just high-end boardrooms. With these simple principles, and a lot of feedback from you, we delivered Meetup, one of the first all-in-one video conferencing solutions. We had ambitious dreams, but we never imagined that Meetup would equip over 1 million conference rooms. It's helped people connect in the most challenging of times and brought people together in the best moments too. But a lot has changed since we launched Meetup. IT and end users continue to want simpler products and flexibility, but now expect them to be smarter and enhanced with AI. And as more spaces are being video enabled, there is an expectation for products to be built using design for sustainability principles. So, over the last couple of years, a small group of us came back together to rethink what a modern video conferencing solution should be. And as a result, I'm excited to introduce to you Meetup 2. Meetup 2 is the latest addition to our video portfolio. It's built for small and huddle room deployments and supports both PC and BYOD-based configurations. We designed Meetup 2 around three key principles: maintaining simplicity and flexibility, providing the latest Logitech AI innovations, and making this one of our most sustainably built video bars yet. Let's talk about simplicity. Meetup 2 features the same all-in-one design that makes installation a breeze. It comes with a redesigned multi-mount system so it can be installed on a horizontal surface, with a perfect angle adjustment above a display, on a wall, or even on a tripod. To keep things simple, you can even use the existing Meetup wall and display mount, which makes upgrading to Meetup 2 super simple. Plus, for clean cable management, cables are neatly routed and protected, regardless of how you deploy it. For organizations that use BYOD mode, we aim to simplify how users interact with the device. Today, most BYOD setups offer a two-cable solution: USB for the video bar and HDMI for the display. IT teams will then add a dongle or a dock of some type. But we can make that simpler. Meetup 2 offers a single cable BYOD experience that connects the display, microphones, and speakers through a 5-meter USB-C cable. The best part? This approach doesn't require apps or custom drivers. It works with most modern laptops, even works with my iPad. Now let's talk about being smarter with software. Meetup 2 is a CollabOS device, which means it has our latest AI innovations and will continue to receive new features through software updates. Meetup 2 features Right Sight 2 and Right Sound 2, AI features that enable meeting room participants to be seen and heard clearly. With Right Sight 2, you can choose to either frame the group of participants, the active speaker, or each person individually. If you're using Meetup 2 in an open space or in a room with glass walls or reflective surfaces, Camera Zone lets you define an area to frame, thereby excluding unintended participants. With its built-in 4K camera and a 120-degree field of view lens, Meetup 2 ensures everyone is seen and well represented. With advanced camera optics and onboard AI, we even correct the image distortion that's common with wider field of view lenses to ensure that all participants appear as they are in real life, even those at the edge of the frame. To ensure everyone is heard, we use Right Sound 2, a collection of our most advanced audio algorithms that reduce unwanted sounds while equalizing soft and loud talkers at various distances. Right Sound 2's algorithms, coupled with onboard 6 beamforming mics, ensure everyone is heard at great distances. Meetup 2 will have AI noise suppression, which minimizes unwanted sounds like building fans and keyboard clicks, and will also have echo suppression to reduce reverb from walls, ceilings, and other hard surfaces in large spaces. For IT teams deploying Meetup 2 in a BYOD configuration, managing a large fleet of devices will be easier than ever. Meetup 2 offers both Wi-Fi and Ethernet connectivity, which makes device setup and remote management through Logitech Sync as simple as the rest of our CollabOS devices. For end users, Meetup 2 will improve the in-room experience with digital signage support. Now IT and workplace teams can personalize the in-room display when the device is idle. This display customization is available through Logitech Sync and several of our key partners. With AppSpace, you'll be able to unify the content experience inside and outside the meeting rooms. Microsoft Teams customers will be able to extend the Teams enhanced BYOD experience to unlock features like shared display mode for end users and device management through Teams Admin Center. And with Zoom, we're working to enable their digital signage-only Zoom Room experience to bring device management and wireless content sharing to BYOD rooms in a unique way. And finally, Meetup 2 is our most sustainably built video bar to date. From the inside out, it's engineered to minimize environmental impact by using Next Life plastics. Our design and engineering teams have achieved 62% recycled material, the highest percentage of any CollabOS device we've built so far. Inside Meetup 2, we've made the heatsink out of recycled aluminum, and we're using FSC certified paper to ensure even the materials we use in the packaging are sustainably sourced. And that's Meetup 2, our latest addition to the lineup that helps IT teams make all spaces video spaces. With Meetup 2, we're continuing to provide simplicity and flexibility for PC deployments with upcoming certifications for Microsoft Teams Rooms on Windows, Zoom Room on Windows and Mac, and Google Meet Compute. And now to tell you how you can scale our solutions in your environment, I'd like to introduce you to Philippe and Johanna.
Thank you, Alan. The pandemic changed how and where we work and how we enable and support hybrid teams to work together. Overnight, video conferencing went from being a tool to a utility. Many companies are now rapidly equipping their spaces with the technology hybrid teams need to collaborate, and users now expect simple and reliable solutions everywhere they go. But while that is all happening, IT teams aren't exactly growing. Let's face it, you're being asked to do a lot more with less. Our vision at Logitech is to make all collaboration spaces video spaces. To do that, we want to partner with you to help you adopt and scale. We've been on a journey to simplify our solution, making device deployment, maintenance, and management faster and easier. For end users, we've been obsessed with making the interface as simple as just one touch. And we've automated things like camera tracking so they can focus on collaboration, not orchestration. And we've also been innovating around care and coverage for our customers. Since the early days of Logitech for Business, we've provided one of the industry's most generous service offerings. All Logitech business products come with our basic service tier. That includes 2 years of hardware warranty, access to our device management tool that we call Sync, and business hours customer support. And as more and more enterprises started adopting our solutions, we introduced an all-in-one solution called Logitech Select. Select offers dedicated enterprise-grade support, provide you with around-the-clock technical expertise, and works as an extension of your existing team. Our package also includes device and space management, tools and sites, and advanced RMA. Some of our customers have already scaled their service deployments to thousands of rooms, and since launching Select, we've partnered with over 2,000 organizations in 50 countries. Today, I am excited to tell you that we're adding 2 new capabilities to our Select service offering. Here is Johanna to tell you more.
Thanks, Philippe. With Sync, you can manage thousands of devices remotely, making device configurations and updates simple. However, sometimes you wish you could be in the actual room to provision a device or help someone start a call. To help you do that, I'm excited to announce Sync Remote UI Access. With Remote UI Access, you can interact with any network-connected CollabOS device as if you were in the room. It's simple and secure. To use Remote UI Access, find the device in Sync and click Start Session. In your browser, you will see the device screen and you can interact with it using your mouse and keyboard just like if you were in the room. We built Remote UI Access to be secure. Your browser establishes a peer-to-peer connection, which means your company's audio and video never leave your network. In-room participants will clearly see that a remote UI session is in progress on all displays. Managing Logitech devices has always been simple. But with Remote UI Access, we're making it more straightforward, plus saving you multiple trips around the office. And now over to the next exciting feature. Last year, we announced Logitech Desk Booking to make it easy to book flex desks at the office. Today, I'm excited to share that we're extending that feature with Logitech Room Booking, a simple-to-use solution designed to work seamlessly with Tap Scheduler and enabling your teams to find and book rooms easily. Logitech Room Booking is ideal for those of you in mixed platform environments or BYOD setups. It provides a simple and seamless way to manage your meeting rooms. Deployed with our Tap Scheduler, the lights on the side and the front of the interface makes it easy to spot a free room at a distance and grab it. And in addition, the built-in mapping experience enables an easy navigation, which can be extended with roommates and larger size displays. With rooms that have rally bars, you can leverage the in-camera occupancy detection to check in or release meetings automatically. Room Insights help you understand how meeting rooms are being used over time for better space planning. Best of all of this is integrated into Sync, allowing you to manage devices and spaces from flex desks to meeting rooms, all from a single pane of glass. So there you go, 2 amazing new capabilities. And now back to you, Philippe.
As you can see, Select offers a great combination of talented technical expertise and advanced software features to help you manage your spaces. However, there are some of you who have already invested in that expertise, either with in-house teams or a trusted channel partner, but still need the advanced tools to help you scale your deployment. Today, I am pleased to introduce Logitech Essential. Logitech Essential combines all the powerful software tools such as remote UI access, alerts, insights, and space management into one simple package, so you're covered if an issue should arise. Finally, both Essential and Select service tiers will be available for the meeting room and the flex desk. I invite you to try these premium features directly from Sync and talk to us about activating a free trial Essential service license before August 2024. Earlier, Henry talked about our design for sustainability principles. There comes a time when devices need to be retired, and I am delighted to share that our new Collect and Recycle program is how we are helping you responsibly recycle your equipment, whether it's Logitech's or someone else. We're taking early partner interest in this program now, so please contact your Logitech account manager to learn more. And that's our update on services. My team and I are excited to earn the right to partner with you to help you streamline the setup management and scaling of your conference room and flex desk deployments. We've got you covered, either with Logitech Select or Logitech Essential. We're here to ensure your success. I'll now pass it back to Prakash to conclude our session.
Thank you, team. That was terrific. We shared a lot today, from software advancements with CollabOS to the launch of Meetup 2 and our new service offerings. We are innovating to help our customers keep up with the demands of the modern workplace. Innovation, reliability, global scale, and sustainability. Above all, a relentless focus on simple, intuitive experiences, designed for people and built for business. Now, that's the new logic of work. Thanks for tuning in. Now I invite you to join us for a Q&A with our team.
Hello, and welcome to the live portion of the Transforming the Workplace Experience event. Wow, what a slew of announcements we just went through. We actually had to be really choiceful with the things we did talk about, a lot to fit in, but that's where this live portion comes in. We can bring back our experts to talk and go more deeply into our products and services, not only the news that we announced today, but also stuff that's coming up, or our strategies and how we're helping you build better collaboration between your teams. So before we dive in, just a quick housekeeping note. If you've got questions for us that you haven't been popping into chat already, be sure to use the Q&A Q&A function in order to ask questions to our team who will answer right away or bring it up to the experts here. And speaking of experts, I'd like to introduce Prakash, Henry, Philippe, and Alan, our experts today, to dive into your questions. And maybe just to get things started, Prakash, a question for you about the hybrid collaboration space is ever changing. And in your conversations with customers globally, what are the themes that come up about the challenges that are emerging and what they're facing?
Yeah, thank you. One of the biggest things that everyone is facing is employee demands. They are changing. There's a need to be remote, a need to be on site, and a need to be hybrid. And almost all customers I talk to have some version of this employee demands that are coming out, which is one of the reasons why we spent a lot of time thinking about the users and the user experience in our products and how it helps employees actually work with some of the challenges that come up with collaboration. And along with that, we've actually focused on a few other things. We're focused on how to make it secure, how to make sure that like the device AI that we talked about today remains secure. How do we make sure it's sustainable? Some of the things we talked about today on making our products more sustainable, actually making sure that we are keeping what is in a meeting space and what's in a desk and the whole workspace experience actually working for our IT teams. So really it's about making it as simple to use as possible, making it as sustainable as possible, making it as secure as possible. And if I didn't mention the most common word that's being used these days, which is AI, really innovating with AI and actually making sure that the ecosystems that we connect to actually work for our customers. So that's a common theme we're seeing quite a bit. And this is super stoked to have this opportunity to share that with this audience today.
Certainly a lot of challenges that we're tackling. Maybe on the topic of AI, Henry, a question for you. In the roadmap that we're seeing from video collaboration partners, Microsoft, Zoom, Google, others, how are we working and jointly engineering with them solutions that enable all this intelligence and greatness?
Definitely. I mean, this past week, in the last actually 2 weeks, we've seen some of the biggest industry announcements around AI. Microsoft just had their event, Google as well. So really, the pace of innovation in that particular sector, it's so dynamic, kind of what Prakash talks about. It's evolving so quickly. And we're in this really fortunate position where we can work in lockstep with the industry giants, the Zooms, the Microsofts, and the Googles to enable their experiences across a wide spectrum of spaces. So conference rooms, desktops at home. We've worked on a lot of things with all of them. Today, we finally announced our Microsoft multi-stream experience and some of the Copilot integration, which was really exciting because we've been working on it for a while. And as you know, there are many other things coming in the pipeline. We probably won't cover those today, but this is really just the early stages of the innovation, and it's already pretty compelling.
Right. We'll save some of those announcements a little bit closer to and for another show, perhaps, but certainly continuing to work on a lot of those innovations together. But on the topic also of AI and intelligence, Meetup 2, our upgrade to the next portfolio. In terms of smaller room solutions, Alan, can you speak to what has been the upgrade from Meetup to Meetup 2? I mean, certainly AI and intelligence is one of those, but maybe touch more on what we're upgrading the experience on.
Yeah, so we've done a lot of changes between Meetup and Meetup 2. So we've improved the video performance, we've improved cable management, the network management or remote management, just the mounting, a lot of improvements in the product. Probably my favorite is actually the audio parts, because you think about if you have a video call, you can have a reasonable call without great video, but without great audio, it just doesn't really measure up. So we've done a lot of work on both the hardware and the software side for the audio. So for the speaker output, Meetup 2 will probably play twice as loud as the original Meetup. The frequency response is better. We put a larger speaker driver in there, a ported enclosure, so it has better low end. We actually put 6 microphone elements in there instead of 3, so our beamforming is more accurate. It's able to pick up people, attenuate noises better. So from a hardware standpoint, we've done a lot of work, but probably more interesting is actually some of the algorithms we've worked on. Much better noise reduction, much better room reverberation, and our AGC, or our ability to equalize quiet talkers and loud talkers. That's some exciting stuff that we've developed. And so it's much better product.
A lot of upgrades, for sure.
A lot of upgrades.
And on that one, I think not just the upgrade from Meetup to Meetup 2, but a lot of that right sound too, equalizing voices, bringing in clarity, we're bringing to the rest of the portfolio as well, which is really exciting. I think the interesting thing about making sure that people are heard and not only picked up goes back to this partnership point of, in order for it to be a good experience for remote participants, you need to give the cloud partners or provide enough data or inputs through the hardware, and only with enough perspectives, whether it's a multi-camera system or enough input from an audio standpoint, can they really do the hard work of enabling the intelligence. So it's kind of joint hardware and inputs as well as processing. Yeah, maybe a little bit more on Meetup too. You know, last year we introduced Rally Bar Huddle, our all-in-one appliance-based video bar for small rooms. Where do both Rally Bar Huddle and Meetup 2 live in a smaller space? How can a customer distinguish between which product and the use case that each is best for?
Yeah, so it's a good question. About a year ago, we introduced Rally Bar Huddle. It was designed for small rooms. Today, we're introducing Meetup 2, which is designed for small rooms. So naturally, the question would be, well, which one should I pick? So if you're a company that is running an appliance, so you're doing, for example, Teams on Android or Zoom on Android, then, or if you're thinking about doing that in the future, then Rally Bar Huddle is the appropriate choice. If you're either a pure PC dedicated room system, so you're running Google Meet, for example, or Zoom on USB, or you're running it as a BYOD device, then Meetup 2 is going to be the better choice.
Got it. Well, for a lot of customers who have Meetup today and are maybe thinking about upgrading to Meetup 2, I hear we've got over 1 million Meetups sold globally since the launch, Alan. Congratulations. But maybe, Philippe, a question for you. We talked a little bit about our Collect and Recycle program, which is in its infancy right now. We're taking early customer interest. But is there kind of a trade-in or trade-up program? Question from the audience about Meetup necessarily or others of how do we help them take back or upgrade equipment responsibly?
Yeah, so naturally, as our products are aging and being replaced by a new generation of product, whether it's some of our competitors or our own product, the big question is, what do I do with that equipment? Where do I put it? And so we felt that with the infrastructure that we have in place, we could help with that logistic nightmare. And we created a program that called Collect and Recycle. Just like its name indicates, we would love to work with you to collect the old equipment, retire it appropriately, give you a certificate back to you saying that it's been done appropriately, and then allows you also to no longer have to worry with the logistic and how do I do it, where do I do it. And we can take advantage of our global footprints and also the logistic team that we have in place, that Prakash has put in place for the last decade, to definitely make this more efficient for you. So we invite you to connect with us, to try it, because we're not sure that we have yet the perfect journey to execute how to pick it up, discard it, send the report back. So please connect with your sales partner or the partners that you have around the globe, and we would love to debug the process with you and finalize it so we can define how it's going to merge into our services in the future.
Maybe, well, the Collect and Recycle program or a potential trade-in program is more at the end of a product lifecycle, and there's lots we're doing there. Prakash, can you speak to, from either the Logitech standpoint or the business function, other things we're doing that you're really excited about to innovate on sustainability and lowering a carbon footprint?
Yeah, for sure. I think we've been focused on designing for sustainability in our products for a number of years, and what that means is actually making products with less carbon when we actually make them, when we source components for it, when we manufacture, actually using clean energy as part of the manufacturing process, when we get it into a conference room or a desk, to actually lower the consumer use phase. So things like actually putting it into sleep mode, waking it up, things of that sort, actually really designing for sustainability and actually bringing these products to our customers. That's one of the main things we've been focused on for multiple years. Now, along with that, one of the things Henry talked about today was the support for Android 12, which is really what it is at the core, is actually extending the life of the products once we make them so that you can actually enjoy them for as many years as possible before you retire them. And then we couple that with the program that Philippe just talked about, which is when it is time to actually end of life a product, we want to be able to collect that and recycle it. And it's the same recycle program that we use to actually bring recycled plastics back. So you get some of the old products, you take the plastics apart, make new pellets with it, shoot new parts, and that goes right back into our products. And as of now, all CollabOS devices actually use recycled plastics, and this is why we're celebrating this moment. And I think this is a big focus area for us. And for sure, there's a lot to do here, and this is something that we've focused on quite a bit as a company. It also touches on our ecosystem partners with Zoom, Google, and Microsoft, actually making sure that we are able to maintain this ecosystem for our devices. So yeah, I'm super excited about it. One of the other things I'll say is we started this effort to carbon label our products. And the core idea there was, if you go out in a grocery store, buy a bag of chips, my favorite chips is a Frito-Lay's, jalapeno flavored chips, and you know what the calories are. We did the same kind of thing with carbon, so you can actually get the carbon footprint data right on the packaging or on our website. So when you as an IT manager is trying to decide what is the footprint of my product, you can actually quickly understand what's the footprint it's generating. And that'll help you make better decisions. And we are certainly opening up this methodology for others in the industry so they can adopt the same methodology or at least use some parts of it. And this would inform footprint information in the future. So super excited about it. Yeah.
Maybe also in terms of a competitive advantage when it comes to our partnerships from a distribution standpoint or a sales standpoint. Maybe Henry, I'll invite you to start, or Prakash, if you want to add on. What are our key differentiators when it comes to the channel and those partners on distribution and go-to-market strategies? This is a question from Gabriel in the audience.
Yeah, absolutely. We are an incredibly global team. I'm reminded of that every single time I travel globally and I see how big the teams are everywhere that we work. We have sales, support, channel elements everywhere throughout the world. And so we're able to deliver not just products, but also support. From Philippe's team, maybe you should talk about how we support globally. But we're able to support customers in most countries. And usually whenever I get into a conversation around, will you be able to support my company, my footprint? My question is always, give me your hardest country and let's see where we land. We usually land in a pretty good spot. And I think a lot of that goes to Prakash on the operations side, has been able to expand our footprint in such a broad way, but also from a support perspective, maybe if you want to talk a little bit about how we can support.
Sure. So the service was a sort of a latest addition to the offering that we've made at Logitech. And so I started several years ago, about 3 to 4 years ago, where we realized that we have to enhance significantly the way we support our partners around the world as they are adopting cloud technology. So at the time, we innovated around a simple service called Select. But to your point, to make Select ubiquitous around the globe, we needed to make sure that operationally we can execute everywhere where the customers are based. And so that was probably the biggest challenge, but because of the size that we have, because of the presence that we have in so many countries, we can give a very systematic way of supporting our teams around the globe, supporting the customer around the globe and the partners with fast response time, the ability to also deliver the product in relatively fast time, and therefore be more present and enabling more experiences that ultimately what the company wants is the end users utilizing our product, not debugging the stuff.
Yeah, if I can just add to that, I think we have some very core differentiators in global reach. And in some respects, Henry and Philippe talked about it. But if you really think about Logitech, we're trying to actually make sure that this employee experience that you are trying to deliver is something that is as easy as it's possible to install, manage, and provide equally across the globe. And to do that in any space, whether it's a meeting room or a desk or something in between, and to do that in a sort of consistent manner is one of the things that's unique about Logitech. You could decide to change your ecosystems later. You could decide to roll out your meeting rooms in a different order, or desks in a different order, work with different partners. And that's the flexibility that we bring, working with our distribution partners and the global reach we have to be able to do that. And that's really what I think is unique about Logitech. And hopefully that is something that'll make it flexible for you as our customers, actually not have to think about where to buy it from, how to install it, how to deploy it. And we want to take that whole thing and simplify it for you.
Right, simplicity for the user, simplicity for administrators and managers, absolutely. And I think maybe, Philippe, I'll go back to you on the services front. So we just introduced today also remote UI access, room booking and space management, but also these new service offerings that help IT managers and other admins better get visibility and control over their deployment and extend their teams. Can you speak to the thought behind the new offering and how it boosts either the teams themselves or partners they may work with to manage their deployment?
Yeah, so just like my peers here on stage, we always start with the end user and the customer in mind, so we talk to them. And when we created Select, we got inspired by the simplicity, just like Prakash mentioned, on how the hardware is easy to set up, easy to use. We wanted to do something very simple as well for the service. That's why we just created Select. And it was one all-in-one package that was easy to purchase, easy to understand what you were getting. But as I visited some customers, specifically one in Southern California, I was explained very crisply that Select may have some redundancy with what they have already invested in, either with a partner or with themselves. They invested in IT organizations that have the right strength. So that's when we came up with the idea of Essential. So Essential is grouping everything that Logitech does from a software standpoint, analytics, data that we collect on every different of the rooms, and package it again into one simple solution that is easy to buy, easy to deploy, and allows you to maintain what you have to maintain without necessarily all the bells and whistles that Select brings.
Power tools, absolutely,
Power tools.
and being able to extend the team.
Yep.
Maybe a couple quick roadmap questions for the team from the audience. One is, do we have a plan, Henry, for a device that can host, I know we usually allow through Android-based systems to host many different platforms, but specifically this one, WebEx and Zoom, or between WebEx and Microsoft and Zoom. So a question from the audience on, is there a device we are thinking of to natively support multiple partners, including WebEx?
If I understand the question correctly, today our devices already support multiple different partners. Maybe the question is around switching between them in a different way. So today we support, obviously Zoom, Microsoft, and Google on one device, and you can switch between them. I saw a question in the chat earlier about having to factory reset the device or something in between those. I think there are some certification requirements from partners that mandate that we do some of that, so it's less of a technical need and more of a certification requirement. Maybe the second part of the question is around WebEx. Will we support WebEx on our devices? Nothing to announce today. Maybe the WebEx folks will talk and maybe we'll have a future announcement, but nothing to announce on that part today.
But certainly we do a lot to already natively support out of the box or with our software integrations, interoperability.
Absolutely.
And lots of ways between enabling it through the room system to cables to allow for interoperability.
And there are services, features like Direct S Join that's available generally throughout the ecosystem where a Zoom room can call into a Cisco WebEx call, and same thing within Teams. So most of the service providers today already have an option to do that, but if it's more about app switching, then it has more to do with like partner certifications.
Right, for sure. When it comes to interop and talking about BYOD maybe, switching back to Meetup for a second, Alan. So Meetup 2 comes with improved capabilities in the PC or Windows-based environment, as well as great solutions in the BYOD space. You know, the flexibility to be able to connect to whatever platform you bring into the room. There's a specific question from the audience, Jack in the audience, thank you, about how can we make Meetup 2 ADA compliant when it's wall mounted? What are the options for that, but specifically Meetup 2 or maybe the rest of the portfolio?
Yeah, so we actually spend a lot of time when we're developing products for things that are not related to the actual meeting, like the audio and video. So for example, cable management, mounting, deployment, that kind of thing. You know, making sure when it's deployed, the cables are nice and tidy and hidden out of the way. So with Meetup 2, we put together a pretty clever mount. I think we have a pretty clever design team and mechanical engineering team. And so we have a mount that same mount is kind of a transformer kind of device where you can have it sit flat on a table or a shelf. You can fold it around and it works as a wall mount. You can have it sit on top of the display. So a lot of flexibility with that. It's even backwards compatible with the original Meetup mounts. But if you're talking about ADA compliance specifically, absolutely, it can be mounted in such a way that it doesn't extend beyond 4 inches, which is kind of the standard for ADA. And so absolutely it will work in those environments.
Yeah, I think especially the fact that it's backwards compatible with Meetup really allows for that easy upgrade experience. And we've really thought about integrating the second gen Meetup into the existing Meetup world. So that's really thoughtful. Maybe back to you, Henry, for a question about space management. A question from the audience about how the occupancy sensors really work to enable auto release. How magical is it of an experience, and how does everything between the hardware and the software and the integrations come together?
Yeah, absolutely. Great question. So our Right Side 2 technology that we use to frame individuals in the room is able to also count the people that are in the room. So we actually look for human objects, and we have a pretty good sense of how many people are actually in the room. And then we even use the camera zone technology that I mentioned in the video to make sure we're only counting and are aware of the people in the intended space. So that information is available on the device. We actually make it available to our partners, both Zoom and Microsoft, to visualize in different ways. Now, with the room booking experience that we announced today, what we're going to do is connect those two products. So now the room booking experience knows what the occupancy is of the room. And so then that really allows IT admins to be able to say, create business policies around that. So you could say something like, if no one shows up to a reserved room after 5 minutes, release it. Or I like the inverse of someone just pops into a conference room, they never reserved the room. After a couple of minutes, we're just going to automatically book it for them.
Certainly some pretty advanced capabilities, at least in terms of what you can enable. It's pretty magical from the user end of, oh, I've got all these meetings that, or all these meeting rooms that are available now. There's no ghost meetings because the room can sense when there's a better kind of utilization of the space.
And you can use the existing sensors. You don't have to add additional proximity sensors or anything else, or occupancy sensors in the room. You already have all the sensors you need.
We're adding a lot more value to our portfolio, whether it's from the hardware or software or services side as we go, talking more about extending the life and use of our products as well.
But I think that's the beauty of our products, is that they can naturally enhance the experience over time. So you don't have to necessarily buy everything up front, but the more you buy, the more pleasant, I would say, the experience is. Right? If you just, the rally bar is in the room, you just have that. But if you start to have the booking, you have the panel on the side, all that stuff starts to create magical experiences.
Certainly. When it comes to enabling those magical experiences and collaboration, and we talk a lot about removing barriers to collaboration, making sure things are always up and ready. Philippe, maybe if you want to start on this, or Henry, you want to add on, are there any things from the user side of troubleshooting when it comes to rooms being down or equipment not being ready? This is another question from the audience. Is there anything on the user side we're doing to enable better troubleshooting or better kind of raising of tickets in rooms?
Do you want to start with that one?
Yeah, actually, maybe I'll talk about one of the new Meetup 2 features, the digital signage experience. And a lot of that was actually influenced by the feedback we got from the field, from our partners or customers, that, you know, if you walk into a lot of these conference rooms, what you'll notice is there are QR codes or some sort of an instructional on the display that kind of just says, you know, use this, plug in that, or just some sort of instructional information, or if you have an issue, call this number, or here's a QR code. We thought, hey, why don't we just extend that not just to the traditional room systems, but also to the BYOD setups. So that's why we're really excited to partner with AppSpace. Of course, we'll do it through Logitech Sync, and there'll be other partners announced in the future that will allow you to communicate into these rooms that you traditionally haven't really been able to communicate in. Or if you have, you probably have a printout of something that's, you know, somewhere laying on the table. Now you can do this in a more modern, real-time digital way. I think that's one great example. The remote UI access, I think, is probably the other really good example. Maybe you want to talk about that one.
Yeah, I was thinking for us, our goal is to actually never get into the situation where the end user has to debug something. It doesn't always happen. And so what we've tried to do is to have what we call proactive reactiveness, right? So there is something going down. Very rapidly, as an administrator, you will notice that it's down, because through Sync, you will see there's a notification. Through the remote access, you can connect directly into the conference room, see what's going on in the conference room, and fix it before even an end user would end up with that negative feeling about what's happening. So I think the beauty of our system is, as they get more and more integrated, of course, cloud-based, you have a good idea of what your footprint is looking like around the globe, real time, and you can take proactive actions before an end user would actually be facing the situation.
Exactly, never have it be a bug in the first place.
That's right.
Prakash,
Yeah, I was just going to add, I think one of the things we announced today was smart switching, which is really at the center of where we as a company obsess about the user experience, the human that is actually sitting in a meeting or in front of a desk. And it doesn't have to think about the context of what they are talking. So if you're facing someone and then you switch, it automatically will recognize where you're switching to. And that is something that we've started focusing on, and I think some of the AI features that Henry talked about, but that's built into our devices and actually works across ecosystems. And this is sort of what we see as the beginning of this user-based context, or putting the human in the center of our design philosophy. And this is something that we do very well as Logitech. And I think more to come on this. I think we just started with smart switching. You can imagine where this goes next, and excited where the future holds for us.
Yeah, I think almost every one of you have talked about user experience and seamless and intuitive. And I know those are words often that we just use, but also if you can get your hands on that beta or see it in action, you'll really experience it. Like how intuitive it goes from switching from camera to camera. So you don't have to think about the stuff and where you're directing or angling your body. So we definitely have a design DNA here at Logitech, and it flows through to the hardware, but also the software experiences that we're starting to enable. Maybe another question on software, Henry, for you. Beyond just the exciting Android 12 announcement, and if you have more details you can share live about when that's coming or when folks can get their hands on it, but maybe beyond Android 12 as well, what are you seeing us do to further extend and add value to a product in its life cycle?
Yeah, probably one of, when I think about it, every month what's the part that I get most excited about, it's usually the software releases. Because a lot of really talented people, product design, QA, engineering, put a lot of love into these releases, because we believe that that's ultimately how you can really extend the life of these products, by making them provide more compelling, productive experiences. So we've already released 12 CollabOS updates. I may have mentioned that earlier. You can imagine there's a pretty long roadmap of new features, and I am pretty sure after this session, I'm going to get LinkedIn messages with new ideas, and that's going to grow the list of ideas we're going to have. Android 12 is certainly going to be one of those things that we're going to extend the shelf life. I think we keep talking about AI and these partner integrations. The Microsoft multi-stream experience is a great example. We have lots of great innovation coming with Zoom, with the Intelligent Director and the appliance mode. I'm pretty excited about that. So it's a pretty long journey, pretty long roadmap of new features and innovations. And I'm excited for the next event to share some more of that, but maybe that's all I'll share today.
Definitely no shortage of ideas from the software team.
I think this is the beauty of buying a hardware from Logitech, is over time, the hardware itself becomes more and more valuable because of the software and the services that get added to it. And so that's the power of, you make an investment, but that investment doesn't get obsolete very quickly, because through the software and the services, you make it better and better over time.
Certainly. And maybe that's a great one to end on, of how we extend the life of our portfolio, not only starting with building great hardware, but through software, integrating and adding new features, building a roadmap together with our partners. So I'll just say thank you so much for the great questions from the crowd and our experts here. And thank you for your time. Thanks for joining, and really excited to hear from you next. Stay connected with us through chat if you've got more questions. Come back to the event hub, to the attendee hub, to check out this event on demand and revisit portions, or come back to the Q&A and explore more of our products on the website. But otherwise, thank you so much again for tuning in, and have a great rest of your day.